One of the essential things to managing your team effectively is defining your regular team rhythms. So start by thinking through, how are you going to connect as a team, as a whole? That might be fortnightly if you're a remote team and you don't have as much in-person connection, or if you're all together in the office frequently, then it might just be monthly. If you're in an organisation that has a lot of shift work, it may be harder to get together regularly, but even try once a quarter to be able to bring all of the team together so that you can align on how the business is tracking towards its goals. Use the time in your team meetings and set a specific agenda. Don't just have your team meetings to run through a workload list or a list of leads that are in progress. Use the time intentionally. Team meetings should be used for key team and client updates. Review how we're tracking against our goals. Use the time in the team meeting to review how we're tracking against our goals, to highlight the wins when it comes to culture and the behaviours that we've seen demonstrated really well. Maybe highlight an employee who's had some epic results with a client. Now, everyone has different motivators. We want to make sure we're finding connection points for each individual's motivators. So some people are highly driven by purpose. They need to feel the work they're doing directly impacts the organisation's mission and goals. So maybe it's telling a client story or sharing a client win on how we achieved this outcome in order to continue to connect and engage people in what you're trying to achieve in your business or organisations. Create space in your team meetings for questions. They can either submit these in advance or maybe there's space for them to ask them live. I'm not talking about workload questions or questions about specific clients. I'm thinking here the types of questions are around business decisions, any direction, changes going on to the team. Be really specific with your team what these questions are for, but create space so the team can see that you're transparent and they've got clarity on what we're trying to achieve. The next thing is to decide on how frequently you'll meet with each team member one-on-one. So when it comes to one-on-one meetings, I recommend that at a minimum, each leader meets with their team members one-on-one for 30 minutes once a fortnight. And again, you don't just use this to chat through the work in progress list and what they've got on. You can have a project management tool that captures all of that. Use this as meaningful time to reflect on performance, provide development, and have time for on-the-job coaching. I want you to also define how you're going to communicate with your team. So what do we use email for versus, say, a Microsoft Teams or a Slack? What needs to be a meeting versus what can just be updated in our workload management tool? Take the time to write down your expectations around communication, what each tool is used for in each platform, and how often they should be used and updates should be communicated. And so what I want you to do is actually write this down and communicate that out to your team. So a really useful thing can be having a guide page in your team handbook on this, or if you have a SharePoint site or something similar, making sure we have a page which clearly defines what do we use each of our tools for and each of our meeting times and what is the importance of each meeting or rhythm that we do. By getting clear on our team rhythms, we can set really clear expectations of our team members of what we expect from them, but also what can they expect from us as leaders.